We brought you the story of Vincent Kerouac last month. He's the knight from Quebec who's traveling across the country on horseback in the name of chivalry. He counted on the kindness of strangers to stable him and his horse along the way. After 4 months on the road, Vincent had to end his journey early. His horse, Lionheart, was getting too tired and just couldn't continue. Now, Vincent's heading home this week, but Lionheart has found a place to retire right here in Saskatchewan. I've got our knight in shining armor, Vincent, on the line right now. Good afternoon, Vincent.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks again for your time today. Tell me, where are you right now?
I am exactly 4 miles east of Griffin on Highway 13 right now.
Headed home.
Yeah, well, I am with the Van Stavern family that have been hosting me for 3 weeks now. I've been working for them to renovate their barn and make a new home for Lionheart and their horse Guy, and bring new life on their farm for all their family.
Well, let's talk about Lionheart first of all. How is she doing?
She is doing great. That was just a good decision to take to stop, because during all the home trip, she was never going away from me when I would go get her in the field in the morning. But during the last few days, she was all the time scattered. She was going away. She was fleeing me. Says, "You don't touch me this morning. I'm not going." So I was doubting, and I was, maybe you need a good rest. So I had 3 days off one time, and I thought, well, maybe she's going to be all right after 3 days. So then I started new after. She was still the same way, and I stopped in Bassano, south of Calgary, another 3 days, not sending family, and she was standing in the field during these 3 days without moving in that corner, stretching her back as far as she could to try to find some relief from that pain. And then I had an inspection on her back, and I tried to make an exam as good as I could, and she finally had big sores from the sweat under the pads all the time with that heat we had in Alberta and Saskatchewan. So I went all the way to Spruce Meadow on trailer to make that last march in Spruce Meadow and speak with people of Calgary. And then I did that, and from there, well, that was just the end. And then I called an end to that crusade to protect her, because it was about being chivalrous, and not being chivalrous to my speed would have been a big lack in my cross-country journey, I think.
Now you've returned to Griffin, Saskatchewan, though. At what point did you decide that that would be the right place to take Lionheart?
Yeah, well, when I've been walking through here, Kim Van Stavern stopped on the highway. She just met me. That was totally unplanned, but we've been speaking together. I've been staying at their place for one night, and I just knew when I fell, and, well, the family and I felt that it was the good place for Lionheart to stay, and we had that call again, that feeling in our heart that it was the place where she belonged, and we just worked it out to make sure it would be perfect for both the family and the horse.
What sorts of things did you need to do to prepare that family and the area, the facilities for Lionheart to stay there?
Yeah, well, the family is well prepared. I mean, they have a farm since a long time. They have always been farming around here. So that's not a big problem, and Kim and all the family are having good friends who are in the horse world, if I can say. And the thing we had to do, well, was about the facilities, to convert the pig barn to a stable for horses. And it has been passing from a pig barn to a dairy cow barn, and then after this it has been emptied and just an empty building for about 15 years. So we had to remove all the manure and the whole straw from there and restore the building and the pillars and the foundations of the building, making sure it would be strong enough for another 100 years at least. So we've been working out on this, making comfortable places for the horses and a nice place for human beings to go and see the horses. So then we've been working on this, the whole Van Stavern family and I, for 3 weeks. And then the horses have been in that stable for the first time on Saturday evening, and it was just thrilled. I could say that, well, they were looking all the way around, and they were kind of, what's going on? I mean, we haven't been walking that far today, and we're not supposed to change of stable. without walking that much. So Lionheart was looking around, and Sky, your new friend, which is the other mayor that lives there, they were just thrilled to be in there, and they didn't want to get out. And so that was really, really good start.
And how's her health?
She's going really, really well now. The hair growing back, the sores are healing really well. They were quite deep. I could not see all of them because they were hidden in the hair. But when the hairs on the horse grow back white, it means that the scar was deep enough. And she's having all kind of white hair all over her back. So she was full of little scabs, kind of really deep in the skin. And that's why I could say now that it was really the good moment to stop, because she was just over.
The two of you have been through quite the adventure, trying to cross the country from Quebec west. How prepared are you to say goodbye?
Well, it's going to be hard, because we've been together for a very long time. But at the same time, I know that I can travel and I can move all the time. That's not a problem. And I want to come back to Saskatchewan and live in Saskatchewan. But that horse cannot move and go around the world as easily as I can. So I thought, I'm going to find her the perfect place to stay. And after this, if I'm missing her too much, I can always go and travel and see her and see the family that host her. And that was the deal I made with them. You look after her, you keep her forever until she dies. And I'll come once in a while and help you with the horses, help you with the facilities, the maintenance and all of it. And I just want them. I wanted that horse to have such a nice retirement, because she's been walking 4,000 kilometers. And even if she's not that old, she's only 9 years old, and she can handle much more after a good rest. I wanted to make sure she would settle down and find a good place for her, good people who loves her. And during the grand opening yesterday, there were so many nieces and nephews and all the kids and the teenagers, and the whole family were thrilled and playing with the horses. And in a really nice way, they were taking care of them, not being too excited, not enough excited. I mean, they were just perfect with the horses, with the facilities around. And it was totally amazing to see all of these people yesterday.
Well, Vincent, I'm glad this has worked out very well for you, and thanks for your time this afternoon.
You are welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That's Vincent Kerouac. He's been riding on horseback dressed as a knight to promote chivalry. Looks like he certainly found it in Saskatchewan. He's at the home of the Van Steberen family near Griffin, Saskatchewan, who have promised to care for Lionheart, his horse, for the rest of its life.